Camden, are you awake yet?
I'm awake. Right now I'm having something to eat.
Today you need to go to the hospital for your checkup, right? How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but I can make it to the hospital.
I see. Well, that's good to hear at least. It's looking like later today there's going to be some rain showers. I think it's best that you bring an umbrella with you when you go.
Come on now, Paige. You don't need to keep looking over me like I'm some kid. I can take a look at the weather myself and judge what I need to bring.
I'm sure you can. I was just making sure you didn't forget us all. Sorry if that upset you any.
Well, whatever. It's my fault for ending up this way.
Camden, I've told you this plenty of times now. None of that is your fault.
No matter how one looks at it, this is my fault. I'm no longer able to work for us anymore, and I have to rely on you to take care of me all the time. Are you sure you don't feel like leaving me after all of this? I mean, your own husband can't really do anything himself anymore, and I feel like a failure to you.
I would never think something like that of you, of us. I am so happy to be married to you, and all I need in return is for you to be around me. And when it comes to becoming sick, everyone has a chance of it. So don't go blaming yourself for something you couldn't control.
But mentally and physically, I'm nothing now, and I can't even work a simple job. I wish I ended up with something much more understood like cancer or something. Then, it would have been a lot easier for me to deal with, and we wouldn't have to go through all of this crap anymore.
Please do not say things like that about yourself. None of this has caused me any stress, all right?
Are you sure? I'm not only unable to work, but I can barely get any of the chores done while I'm sitting at home. And I can't even bother getting myself to leave the house anymore. You're telling me that being married to a man like myself is totally okay with you and causes you no problems?
That's what I'm saying. I love you, and that's all that matters to me. Had I not been okay with any of this, then I would have left you a long time ago, right?
Well,
I myself have had days where I'd get sick out of nowhere and be useless for long stretches of time. If our roles were reversed right now and I was the one really sick and you were the one still working, would you find me to be a problem for you?
I would never think of you as a problem then.
Right? Right now, the only thing you should be worried about is taking your time to recover and relax. So you don't have to keep worrying about my feelings either, and you can just think about yourself. If you feel that being with me right now isn't good enough for you, then we can always look into a different approach to treating you. But right now, you're fine living here with me still, right? And your treatments are fine?
Well, it's not like I have anything wrong with what's been going on. I just feel like you're wasting all your time with someone like me. I feel like I'm the one wasting your time by being around you. And I feel sorry for that.
I'm just doing what I want to do, okay? I think you really need to stop caring about me and what I do with my time and focus only on yourself. Now, for the time being, I will stay with you and make sure you're doing okay. Right now, we're both still making life work together and you're still able to go in for checkups and treatments. I find that to be wonderful.
Are you really okay with me and the way I am? It's been a whole year now, and I still haven't been able to go to work.
And that's just a year. You need to stop worrying about time, okay? I think you should start getting yourself ready to go to the hospital. What do you think? Go and take a shower before you go.
Sure.
I think I'll be home around 7 p.m. tonight, all right?
Sounds good. Good luck with the rest of your day at work.
Thank you. And you take care of yourself on the way to your checkup. Camden, I'm sorry I couldn't take your call just then. I'm with a customer of mine right now. What's going on that you need to talk about? Did something happen to you?
My father passed away.
What? Your dad? He passed away?
Yes. His heart apparently stopped. My family just called me a little bit ago about it.
I see. All right then. I will go and talk to the company about this and come right home to get you. Then the both of us can go to your family's house, all right?
Not possible. We have no reason to go back to them, right? And the last person that ever got to see my dad was you, not me.
And that was just because you were in the hospital yourself getting treatment, right? It's not your fault that you couldn't go with me to see him.
But right now, I'm unemployed. And I don't do anything with myself. With the way things are for me now, there's no point in going back to see everyone, right?
This is not about there being a point to you being there. You would like to go and see your dad one last time before they bury him, right?
Well, of course I want to go and see him.
It's all right, Camden. I will be right there next to you when we go. And since your dad was living all by himself before he passed, we have to be there to help with the funeral, right? So would you please start getting yourself ready to go back to see everyone? There will probably be a lot of paperwork that we'll need to fill out and other things to prepare as well for the funeral. So let's expect to be there for a week.
If I go with you, I won't be a problem for everyone, will I? I have not been a good son for either of my parents, nor the rest of the family.
And that's why this is your last chance to make up for all of that, by being next to your dad as he's laid to rest. Recently, you've started going outside a lot more often, so I think you'll be fine leaving your home for a week. And if you feel like you're becoming stressed or exhausted while over there, you're allowed to take a break. Just have a little confidence in yourself and let's go. I'm right here with you, right?
All right. I'm so sorry though, Paige. I always feel like I'm causing problems for everyone.
You're not causing me or anyone else any problems right now. Now, I have a few things to do really quick and then I'll be on my way home.
Okay. But I have no idea where any of our funeral clothing is here.
When I get home from here, I'll get it for us. Just start packing up your clothing that you want to wear casually and some toiletries.
Okay. I'll be waiting for you once I have my things together.
Camden, this weekend I think I'll be able to go to your dad's house as well. I have half a day of work on Friday, so if you want, we can leave early then.
You don't have to come with me. There's no need for you to go to his house with me anymore.
Why not? There's still a lot of paperwork that needs to be done there, so you don't want to do all of that yourself, right? You really don't have to worry about me because I'm already looking forward to heading over there again.
It's not about me being worried about you. I want for us to split up.
Huh? What are you talking about right now, Cameron?
I'm gonna be leaving the house.
Hold on a second, okay? Have you not been taking all your medications lately? If you stopped suddenly, then this might be some of the side effects from that. Or perhaps this is due to the shock from your dad passing away?
That's not it. None of that. All right? I am being serious right now when I say I want us to go our separate ways.
Camden, what has gotten into you all of a sudden?
Come on now, Paige. You're such a doofus. Did you really believe that when I told you I was suffering from depression? I was being serious? You actually went and believed all that crap? Huh! I'm so happy that you were an easy woman to deceive.
You were lying to me? But you have been taking medications for it this whole time, and you showed me your results from when you went to see the psychiatrist.
I've just been taking vitamins and crap. They weren't pills of any sort. And as for those results, I just went online and found someone else and copied those with my name placed over top. I've been fine this whole time.
So you've really been lying to me about being depressed?
Yep. I was just starting to hate working was all. We had been working together for a while. But you were making enough money to support the both of us, right? That's why I assumed it would be totally fine for me to just stop working.
Is that so? But the fact that you're not sick is great.
I just fooled you so badly. And you're not even mad at me?
Well, I was really worried about you that whole time.
Well, your stupidity is really what makes you such a nice person. Or perhaps it's that your kindness really makes you such an idiot. Because of you allowing me to not work for a whole year and live off your income, I feel refreshed and I'm really thankful for that. But I still want us to get this divorce.
Why do you want to get a divorce so badly?
Because I don't really have any feelings for you anymore, Paige. You were always working all the time, and never home to be with me. So, that started to make me less interested in you. And soon, I no longer felt like I loved you at all. I'm going to be getting my dad's inheritance here really soon as well. So there's no use in me having you around anymore. Hence, me wanting this divorce now.
Does this all mean that the only reason you actually kept me around for a year was because of the money I make?
Well, towards the end, that's pretty much right. And right now, I happen to have someone else I really like.
I see. So it's a divorce then. I'm totally fine with that, but afterwards don't bother looking for me.
Huh? I have no reason to come looking for you anymore. It was freaking stupid of you to actually fall for someone faking being sick right in front of your eyes. And the fact that you constantly acted like my mom was annoying. And yeah, we're able to live well together. But we never bought anything new or fun. Now that I'll be getting all of my dad's money, I can use it any way I'd like to. And that's hundreds of times better than relying on you.
I really was worried about you that whole time, Camden.
I know that. And that's why life for me was so easy. But you better be careful from now on, alright? You are way too easy to trick. And literally anyone can take advantage of you.
I wasn't tricked into anything this time. I just happened to really trust my husband and love him.
And as you can see now, trusting me that easily led you to being tricked, right? So don't try and label it all as something else. You honestly should have left me a lot sooner. I was always planning on throwing you away someday. And I kind of hoped that you'd catch on to that and leave me first.
So that's what all of that talk meant. When you'd say I'd be better off without you and going to be on my own again?
I was thinking that by having you be the one to leave me first, then I could use that situation to my advantage. But now that I'm getting my dad's money, I no longer need to wait for that day to come. Thank you for all your effort. I hope that you can find a new life for yourself as well. I'm going to start living my life the way I want to from now on.
Why did you ever end up marrying me in the first place?
Back when you and I were going out with one another, I really liked you. But, as well as we all know, people's feelings can be changed rather easily. And, in your case, you've gotten older and are a little too old for me. In terms of looks, at least. I think when all this is over, you should go have a look in the mirror, and you'll understand what I mean by that. You have really turned into a grandma. They weren't kidding when they said once a woman turns 30, their body goes right to being like a 60-year-old. Paige, long time no see. Are you doing alright for yourself?
What do you want from me right now? I made sure to get all of your things moved to your new address for you, so there's nothing left in my house.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
Well, listen. Ever since that day we've divorced, I've had a lot of time to think. You had taken such good care of me for so long. And I said such terrible things to you in the end. I've been wondering why I ever said those things to you. Especially when you had always been thinking and caring for me. I was a complete idiot for that. I feel so sorry for making the two of us get a divorce in such a horrible way.
Is that so? But if you're here to apologize to me now for all of that, you're not going to get my forgiveness.
That's what I thought. But I've finally realized something. The most happy I've ever felt in my life was back when you and I were together. And in love.
I'm sure it was so much fun for you to sit around at home all day while I've worked my butt off while also cheating on me with another woman. I'm sure that was the most happy time in your life. You didn't have to worry about a thing and got to do everything you wanted.
That's not what I mean. That's not at all what I was talking about. I'm talking about before that. When you and I were both working jobs. I know we were both busy a lot of the time. But it was also fun then, right?
Is that right? To me, all of that time spent being married to you meant nothing in the end, therefore it wasn't fun for me. I'm not trying to say my life was ruined by it, but the time I spent married to you was a waste in my eyes.
Please don't say things like that. I've really thought about a lot in regards to us since the divorce. Do you think you can let me see you again? And allow me to apologize in person?
I told you that once we got divorced for you to never come looking for me again, right?
But if we let things be the way they are now, I'm gonna feel really sorry. since the divorce, I haven't been able to get anywhere.
Then that seems to be your problem, Camden. If you don't move on and start a new life, you are going to be stuck feeling sad and depressed forever. You being in a rut right now has nothing to do with me.
Paige, please? I think that one more time is all I need. So, please let me see you again.
Do you think that by seeing me again, you can get down on your hands and knees begging for my forgiveness and that will be enough to get me to forgive you? I remember that inside you, you think of me as someone who is easy to deceive. I'm someone that can be easily taken advantage of. You feel that if you can get me to forgive you, there's a chance we will be able to live together again.
That's not what I think right now.
Yeah, you sure do think that right now. I know very well that the only reason you've contacted me right now is because you're having trouble with money. Your father was in a lot of debt, right? He borrowed more money than he could ever pay off.
Why? You've known about this the whole time?
The last time I was able to meet with your dad before he passed, I heard all about it. That's why I told him to leave me out of his will.
Huh? Why did you never tell me about all of his debt?
Because you never asked me.
I'm not playing around right now. I've already gone and used up all the money he had left me with. And soon after I was told he has debts that I'm gonna have to repay now?
Had you just talked with the lawyer about it a bit more, I'm sure you would have understood what you were getting into. But before you and I could go and talk to the lawyer together, you asked me to divorce you.
But the fact that you never said anything about his debt is messed up.
I'm not going to listen to you saying that about me. You were the one that lied to me for a whole year about your mental illness. What the hell are you trying to go on about now?
At the time, I didn't want to work anymore, so I had no other choice. And what's the problem with that? I was just like a housewife to you, right? Or are you trying to say there was no value to me being your housewife? You were the one that told me as long as I was around you, you were happy. Was that a lie or something?
Please do not change the topic on me. Back then, things were a lot different than the way things are now, right? Back then, you were lying to me about your illness. And then the moment some money of your own landed in the palm of your hand, you threw me aside and ran off. And not only that, but you also made sure to dig into me a little before going. Made me look like an idiot. Is there any reason for me to want a man like that back in my life now? It was like you weren't even my husband back then.
But I'm telling you, I got played by my dad. He never said anything to me about his debt.
I know. It really does suck that not only are you a liar, but so is your dad for never telling you the truth about his finances. But when your dad was talking to me, he always wondered why you could never come say hi to him. And I tried to explain to him something that turned out to be a lie in the end. I'm sure if you actually left the house and saw your dad, he would have told you about his debt and asked if you wanted to be left out of the will as well.
But I never expected this would happen after never going back to him. What the hell was my dad thinking?
But in a way, there's something funny about the money your dad had to borrow. The only reason there's so much of it that needs to be paid off is because you were always asking your dad to give you some of his money. So in a way, this is your own debt that you're having to pay back to your dad. So make sure you pay it all off soon.
I'm really in a bad situation right now. If things don't change for the better, I'm gonna lose my home. I'll have nowhere left to sleep at night.
Didn't you have a girlfriend that was younger than me? What happened to her? Why can't you ask her for help?
The moment she found out about the debt I have now, she stopped talking to me.
And you were the one telling me I was easy to trick. She fooled you just as easily as you fooled me.
And she really loved using a lot of my money. But because of that, I was able to realize something. The person that understands me the most, and that would never trick me, is you, Paige. It's not always about having a woman that's young, is it? It's also about one's heart. And with how kind you've been to me, you're the only person for me.
Is that the conclusion you've come to? Well, I'm sorry, but there is no chance you're coming back to me. In my case, I'm really happy now that you ended up kicking me out of your life like that with a divorce. Really, right now, I don't have any worries and have been able to live my life the way I want to.
Paige, I'm really sorry. Back then, there was something wrong with me. I should have stayed with someone like you, who was willing to do everything to support me. I made a big mistake then. I was an idiot.
And I've understood that for a long time now. You don't have to explain yourself to me anymore, all right? Now, would you please never send me such stupid texts ever again? I'm sure that even an idiot like you understands what I want, right?
Please, Paige. Can you please find a way to not throw me away like this? From here on, I want to take things between us seriously. I'll even start looking for a job. So, please, find a way to give me one more chance to spend my life with you.
Ugh, after everything I've had to deal with, it is scary to hear you say things like that to me. I do not love you anymore, Camden. I can use my money on myself now and have no more stress. There is no reason for me to give up my freedoms to be with someone like you again. I think you should just forget about me and learn how to support yourself instead. Because with the way you are now, there is not going to be one woman that wants to spend her life with you. After that, in order to pay off the debt Cameron had to the banks from his father, the banks went and took the house he was living in and said that was enough. But because of that, he no longer had a place to live anymore. For a little while, Camden then went and stayed at a 24/7 fast food joint and would constantly make new numbers trying to get in contact with me so that he could ask for my help. But by the time I realized those numbers were all his, he was no longer sending anything, and I believe he gave up. I really have days still where I'll sit here wondering what the hell was the point of being married to a man like him in the past. But had his dad not passed away and all that, then I might still be married to him believing his lies to this day. I'm sure it's not right for me to say I'm thankful that his dad passed away, but that made for a great starting point so that I'd learn of my ex's lies and we could move away from one another for good. I like to think that his dad always knew his son was tricking me and that he died in order to help me see that. I only hope that now, after all the help he gave me, my ex's dad is living the time of his life up there in heaven. It's been 3 years now since all of that happened, and I've started to date someone new. At first I was worried he might be just like Camden and would try and deceive me, but soon I learned that he was completely different and had a heart of his own. We haven't begun talking about getting married or anything yet, but I might give trusting someone with my life a second chance if things continue well. Right now, I've really been so happy with the life I've been given that I don't even feel any hate for my ex anymore. And in order to keep things like that for the rest of my life, I'm going to continue working on becoming stronger myself and communicating with my current boyfriend about everything and anything we need to be talking about. Luckily, he is very understanding of that himself, so I can see a marriage between us not being too far off in the future. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Clarence, are you there? Is everything okay over there? I just noticed that you haven't sent me my money this month, and I was wondering if you could hurry up and do that. I don't know how much longer you're going to keep me waiting.
I'm really sorry, but I can't send you the money right now, Mom. I still haven't gotten paid this month, so I just don't have the funds to be able to.
What are you talking about? It's almost the end of the month. We're on the 25th right now, and you usually get paid on the 23rd.
Well, sometimes the days that I get paid change with the weekends or holidays that are in a certain month. So I don't think that I'm going to get paid until later this week, unfortunately.
That's ridiculous. Who ever heard of a job doing that to their own employees? I hope you're not trying to back out of our deal, Clarence. You know that you have to send me $2,000 a month as part of your punishment.
But Mom, I can't afford to send you that much money every month. By the time I pay, I hardly have enough for myself. And besides, it's not like I didn't tell you already that there were going to be days when I might get paid later or earlier. Please, Mom, can't you just stop this already? I mean, you can't keep blaming me for what happened.
And just what is that supposed to mean? Are you seriously trying to complain to me about this right now?
I'm not complaining about anything. I'm just asking you to stop, Mom.
Stop what, huh? If you have something to say, then come out and say it. Or did you forget just who it was who raised you?
I know that you raised me, Mom. I'm not trying to be ungrateful or anything like that.
If you really understand, then stop complaining about what I tell you and just say okay. And give me my $2,000 already.
But I don't get why I'm the only one who had to pay you. I mean, why don't you ask Kim to pay you anything? She's your daughter, isn't she?
Unlike you, that girl has her life put together. She doesn't even live at home anymore. Meanwhile, you're still here leeching off me like you're a child. So I don't get why you're complaining when you live here, and all I'm asking you to do is pay your fair share of rent and utilities. I thought you were a man, so quit acting like a big baby.
I'm sorry, but just what does me being a man have to do with any of this?
Well, you're a man, so you should be fine going out and working, coming home, and giving your wife your salary. That's how it's going to work when you finally find someone and get married.
I know that was the setup that you and Dad had throughout your marriage. But look what happened to him, Mom. He worked so hard that he had a heart attack in the office and died.
I know, can you believe what a weakling he was? A real man wouldn't just fold under a little bit of pressure like that. Besides, he hardly even made enough money for us, so I can't say that it was too great of a loss.
Mom, how can you say that about your own husband? That's my father that you're talking about.
And now that you're grown up, you really are just like him. And by that, I mean that you're both ugly little whiners. I wish that I married a real man's man. Then I wouldn't have to be dealing with all this sniveling in my life.
Well, I'm glad that I'm like Dad. I loved him and he was a good man.
Well, then I guess the pathetic apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Thank goodness I have at least someone I can count on in my life with Kim. And you really need to open your eyes and face the truth that I'm really not that bad. If I was such an awful mother, then why am I letting you stay in this house with me, huh? I would say it's quite benevolent of me.
Benevolent? Are you kidding me with that?
You really are just a useless dolt, aren't you? Why couldn't you be more like your sister? I'll just never understand where I went wrong with you. We may have the same genes, but I still wonder just how I ended up with you for a son.
Well, speaking of Kim, I heard that she's gotten engaged now, is that right?
Oh, did you hear about that?
Yeah, she sent me a message about it last night, actually. She wanted to brag about how much better her life was going than mine was, actually.
Well, understand why I should want to brag about something so wonderful. I mean, you would want to brag too if you had a husband like that, don't you think?
Oh, I know all about her fiancé, thank you very much. He was actually an old classmate of mine in college.
Oh, really? Is that so? I actually had no idea about that.
Well, I'm not sure if he knows who I am, but I certainly know who he is. He was a bit of a rising star in my department.
I knew that he was a brilliant man, but it's good to know that he's always been so smart ever since he was a young man. And now he's working for a huge company and engaged to marry my daughter. Everything is falling into place.
Yeah, I wonder about that. But I guess I just wouldn't be able to say much about these kinds of things anyway.
That's right, you would have no idea about any of this. You've never brought a girl back home for me to meet in your entire life. Of course, it would be hard to imagine a girl that would want to date a loser like you anyway.
You know that I do have a girlfriend, right?
What? You have a girlfriend? You must think I'm an idiot if you're going to try to sell me a lie like that.
It's not a lie, Mom. I really do have a girlfriend.
Okay, then who is she? Where did you even meet this girlfriend of yours?
She's a woman from my work, and we've been going out for the past 6 months or so, if you must know.
Well, she must be a really weird lady to want to go out with someone like you. But maybe that's where all that money you should have been paying me has been going. She's probably just with you because you've been paying for everything, huh?
Actually, that's not what we've been doing at all. We've been splitting all the bills that we have between ourselves while we've been dating.
Oh, really? Well, in that case, why not think about marrying this girl? If she's really the kind of girl to pull her own weight, then I wouldn't object to it. You could invite her to come and live with us. And then I'd have a little servant girl that I could order around however I wanted to.
I don't think that we're going to get married, Mom. I would never want to expose her to how horrible it would be living with you.
So you're just not going to get married for your entire life? Is that what you're telling me right now? You can't really mean that, right? Don't you see how happy your sister is now that she's about to get married? Clarence, you've been coming home far too late these days. What in the world could be taking you so long, huh? What could you possibly be doing that's keeping you out?
Well, I was at a conference for work all day, and now I'm out grabbing drinks with some people from the office. But I'll still be able to catch the last subway home, so I'll just be a little later.
I don't trust you. I think that something's up. You've been coming home later, and you're hardly ever home on your days off, too. What are you up to, huh?
I'm sorry, Mom. I'm just really busy with work and have things to do.
No, that can't be it. You're out running around with that little girlfriend of yours, aren't you? You get your first girlfriend, and suddenly you think you don't need to care at all about being at home with your mother.
I don't really see what the big deal is, Mom. I mean, I don't remember you ever giving me a curfew or anything like that. Since when do I have to be home at a certain time?
You don't have a curfew because I didn't think that you would need one. But now I'm telling you that I want you home right now, and you're acting like you're not going to listen to me.
I'm not listening because I'm an adult, and if I want to go home late, I have that right. You wouldn't be saying this if I was working late and not home yet.
You really have some nerve, do you know that? Just who do you think you are, talking to your mother like this, you little brat? As a punishment for your sass, I demand that you come home by 7 every night.
At 7? Are you kidding me? Are you seriously trying to give me a curfew? At my age? I'm not some little kid anymore, Mom. I'm an adult, and I am not going to go along with that.
You don't get to disagree with me, Clarence. I am your mother, and you will do as I say. Do you understand me?
Oh, just give me a break already, Mom. I may be your son, but you do not control my life, and I am my own person.
What did you just say to me?
I mean that ever since I was little, you have always been trying to control my life and what I do. All I wanted was the freedom to live my own life, and now I have reached the limits of my patience. I am not going to do what you tell me, Mom.
How dare you talk to your mother like this? You're not going to get away with this, you little brat. You need to learn some respect, young man.
Respect? Mom, I have been so patient with you that I might as well be a saint. You and Kim have both done nothing but put me down. Well, now I don't want anything to do with either of you. Got it?
Oh, give me a break. You don't really mean that, Clarence.
I do, and I am not going to be following any sort of ridiculous curfew. I pay to live here, so I will do what I want, and you don't get to tell me how to live my life.
Clarence, I have made a decision and I want you out of the house. You have until tomorrow to pack up your things and get out. I don't care where you go, but you will not stay here any longer.
What are you talking about? You're seriously going to kick me out of the house?
That's right. You are going to leave, and Kim and her husband are going to move in. I don't need you in my life either.
Wait, what? Kim and her husband are going to come in and live with you instead? But I thought that they were living with her husband's family at their house.
That's right. But Kim's husband's sister is also going to be moving in, and the house is going to get quite cramped with her. Besides, your sister just had her kid and they need the space for their growing family. I know that we're in a bit of a rural area, but I think that living here is going to give them the space that they need. It will really help them with raising their kid.
And so that's why you're just going to kick me out of the house. I don't get it. I've been paying to live here this whole time, and you're just going to kick me out with a day's notice to leave.
Oh, what on earth are you talking about? You're only living here because I've been allowing you to live here. And now your sister and her family really need to be living in a house like this. And don't you start with me about the money that you send. You don't even give me that much anyways, so I don't want to hear about it from you.
Are you kidding me with that? I literally give you more than half of every single one of my paychecks. How can you say that's not a lot?
It's not a lot because it's what you should be giving to me as your mother anyways. Consider it a way of paying me back for all the time I sunk into raising you.
You're seriously going to be charging your own children for raising them? I'm not an investment, Mom. You can't just start demanding returns on the effort you sunk into me.
Maybe not if you're going to be like this. But all that says is that you're a terrible son. Which is all the more reason for your sister's family to come and take your place.
All right, fine, whatever. I just hope you don't regret this, Mom.
You think that I'm going to regret kicking you out? You have no idea what you're talking about. Getting rid of you is going to be a blessing. I never want to hear from you ever again. You are no son of mine. Clarence, are you there? Kim and I, all of us here, we need your help.
What kind of creepy message is that to send so early in the morning? Anyways, I'm actually just about to head out to work, so whatever this is, make it quick, please.
I am trying to ask for your help, Clarence. Don't be so rude. Besides, I don't know who else I could turn to for this. It's really serious.
What is that supposed to mean? What is it, Mom? Just tell me what you want.
Something just terrible has happened, and I really need your help. That's what I want.
You mean that something bad is happening with Kim and her family? You're not giving me answers.
That's right. So then you've already heard a little bit about what's been going on between us all.
No, Mom, I literally have no clue. That is what I'm trying to ask of you right now. Not that I'd want to help you anyways. I thought that things might end up this way for you if I'm being honest.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
Well, I told you that Kim's husband and I went to the same college, right? Back then there were quite a few rumors spreading around the school about him. People were always talking about how he'd go through girlfriends so quickly after getting into some fight or acting violently towards them.
Wait, what? You mean that you knew these rumors about him since college? Why didn't you tell your sister before she got married? How could you just let her walk into that situation blind? What's the matter with you?
I did tell her, though. I was very honest about warning her against getting with him. But you guys said that I was just trying to ruin our marriage out of jealousy and refused to listen to me at all.
But things are going really, really badly here for us. I mean, Kim's husband is just a terrible man. And I think he actually just hates women in general. You have no idea the kinds of things that Kim and I are having to go through here every single day.
But she's already been married to this guy for a year. You mean to tell me that she never realized the kind of person her husband was until now?
According to your sister, her husband only really changed after she had her kid. I guess he was hiding his true self from her until he had an heir. It was all to trap her into this marriage, though, and now we're both trapped in this situation. He is such a horrible man, I can't believe it.
Okay, well, do you mind if I just ask what exactly he's doing that's making living with him so awful? Are you sure you're not just blowing things out of proportion?
Of course I'm not. How could you even say that? You have no idea what it's like here under this horrible rule. He makes Kim and I do chores from the morning until the evening, and he never ever helps out. And he started demanding that I pay him ever since he moved here. Not only that, but even sold part of the land I owned.
Wow, he certainly sounds like quite the piece of work, doesn't he? Honestly, that's even worse than some of the things I heard from college.
It's just horrible, Clarence. And now there are going to be some cheap apartments going up on land that's been in our family for generations. I can't believe he did that. It's just horrible.
Well, it sounds to me like that might have been his goal in moving in with you in the first place. He probably figured that we had too much land for just you and thought he could make a quick buck selling it.
But how could he do that? We had our land in our family for years and he just sold it. Not only that, but he stole my credit and debit cards and even makes me hand over my retirement money when it comes in. He takes everything for himself and leaves Kim and I with practically nothing.
I see. Well, why don't you try reaching out to his family and asking for some kind of help?
I have tried that, but his whole family is a bunch of freaks. And I haven't even told you the worst part. Kim's husband literally kicked Kim and I out of the house, and now his family has brought all their stuff and have moved in. They're trying to take over the house, I tell you.
So then, does he have the kid or do you have the kid?
This whole thing has always been about him just getting a son, so he kicked us out but held on to the child. Can you believe that? He even stole Kim's own son from her.
Yeah, that is really sad, but I'm still not going to do anything to help you.
You have to come here and help us, though. You need to kick him out of the house for us. I'm serious.
Yeah, just why would I want to do something like that again? I mean, you've already said that you never wanted to talk to me again, and I don't really feel like stepping into this.
But you're the son in our family. You need to step in and protect us from these crazy people.
Yeah, I just don't get why I would want to do that for you. I mean, it just doesn't seem like I have much to gain from it.
To gain from it? This is your mother and sister that we're talking about here. You don't gain anything, you do it because we're family.
Right, no, I get what you're saying. But you said that I'm no son of yours, though, remember? So I don't really see either of you as family that I need to protect.
What is the matter with you? Where did I go so wrong in raising a son like you?
Let's not forget here that you were the one that kicked me out to begin with. You're acting like I'm in the wrong, but are you going to acknowledge your own hand in this? Because it sounds to me like you landed yourself in this spot yourself.
I didn't do anything at all, and it's just sad how you're trying to make yourself into the victim here.
Mom, you have always tried to put me down ever since I was a little kid. You controlled my life, demanded that I pay you, and then you kicked me out when it was more convenient for you. So why in the world do you think I'm going to turn around and help you now that you're asking for it?
Please, your sister and I are really at our wits' end. We need your help here. Don't you feel bad for us?
Not really now. I really don't care what happens to either of you, if I'm being honest. I probably won't even go to your funeral. We're through, Mom.
So you're really just not going to do anything for us? We are begging for your help here. We need you, Clarence.
Well, you should have thought about that before you kicked me out. Actually, there's a lot of things you should have done different over the years, but none of that is my problem anymore. After that, my mom continued to blow up my phone trying to beg me for help. I didn't respond to any of her texts, however, and in the end, I blocked her on every available medium. I felt like I had no choice because she just kept sending messages about how hard her life was and all the things that her and Kim were going through. Apparently, Kim was thinking of divorce, but was afraid that she would have to pay her husband alimony and lose the child in the process. Since blocking her, though, I have been thinking less and less about them. They're nobody to me now as far as I'm concerned. I just want to concentrate on living my life for now.